Hi, welcome to the Military History Channel, where we do our best to connect you with real stories from the past. In this podcast, we'll be telling you a true story written by an Australian World War II veteran who fought in Papua New Guinea. The story's called Shorty Pays a Debt. Let's get started. He was lying back in a hospital bed when I first saw him. Pale and weak, but he still had a tough, wiry look about him. He couldn't sleep, seemed to have something on his mind, and after a bit it came out. Shorty and I, it's always been that way. Seems funny here in this hospital bed. I guess I better start at the beginning. Way back when the war first started, Shorty and I were two average Australians, not much interested in wars, but after a while, you know how it is, the chaps around joining up, we joined too, together, as we've always done things. In time I got 2 stripes, but Shorty, well, he never did seem to worry about promotions or things like that. For 4 years now we've been together through Greece, Crete and the Middle East, and then up to New Guinea. 2 weeks ago with 7 other chaps, we were out on patrol when we ran into a Jap patrol coming our way. We slipped into the jungle on either side of the trail and blazed away at them with everything we had for a while. Then they stopped firing back, and we thought maybe we'd got them all, so we scouted ahead. We counted 6 bodies and it seemed as though the rest of them had moved out, back home or somewhere. Anyway, it was about the limit of our patrol, so we turned back, Shorty being drag man. I was a bit worried about those missing Japs, just as well too, because I looked back in time to see one taking a bead on Shorty who hadn't seen him. I gave that nip a quick, long burst with my own just as his finger tightened on the trigger, so Shorty only got a grazed shoulder instead of a hole in the head. Shorty didn't say much except, "Thanks, that's one I owe you." A week later I got mine as the Japs tried a counter-attack. A bad leg wound it was. So bad I became pretty weak and couldn't even crawl back to the boys. So I just lay there by the side of the trail, hidden by the jungle from the Japs up front. Not far up front either. I could hear them talking as they set up a machine gun not 20 yards away. My leg was throbbing pretty badly and I lost a lot of blood, which was slowly seeping through the field dressing. I guess I must have faded out for a while, but when I awoke it was just getting dark and raining like it does in New Guinea. Shorty was due soon as it got thoroughly dark. I knew that because never yet has Shorty forgotten a debt. Not that he wouldn't have come without that. Half an hour later I heard something moving on the trail from our line. When he got level with me I whispered, "That you, Shorty?" There was a grunt and a hand groped in towards me. "Can you move?" he whispered back. I told him no. He says, "Oh well, I'll have to carry you, I suppose." After a bit of a struggle, he got me out on the trail. I don't know why the Japs didn't hear us. I guess it was the rain on the leaves. Anyway, they didn't. Shorty lifts me up and starts back. The trail was muddy and slippery, and he had a lot of trouble keeping on his feet. But he managed all right until about halfway back, when he must have trodden on a root or something, because he went crashing into a growth of bamboo. Maybe you don't know how much noise bamboo can make, but I can tell you it makes a noise that can be heard through the heaviest rain. Anyway, the nips must have heard it because after a second or two they started to spray that track with quite a bit of lead. We waited till they finished, then Shorty lifts me up again and starts to stagger back. We got another 10 yards when suddenly the nips decide to shoot again. Shorty gives a lurch and almost drops me. I know he's been hit, so I tell him to leave me and go back by himself, but he says he's okay. Only there's something warm and sticky dropping down on me that gives the lie to what he says. But he keeps on until a couple of chaps step out and take me from him. Then he sort of folds up, and as he goes down he says, "That's quits, Jimmy." That's the last I remember for a long time. But when I wake up, I'm in this bed, and they tell me Shorty is gone. "Quits," he said, "but lying here, I wonder." NX 125132. That's the end of this story. If you liked what you heard, please consider helping out the channel by going to any online bookstore and purchasing the first book in our World War II series. It's called SAS Babcock's Revenge. The first story as an ebook is free. That's any online bookstore, and the title once again is SAS Babcock's Revenge by Whiskey Jack Peters. Thanks for your support, and I look forward to bringing you more of our veterans' stories.